shenanigans because now I need to have I just don't know. I mean,
we're all thrown off our regular things right now. Like,
this is
I'm
weird.
Speechless.
This is change. I don't like change.
Change
is wrong.
Yeah. So it's going to mess up my opening now because
it's just pure distraction.
Right? Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Euro, your host, as always. For the first time in 3 years, Jerry?
2 years. 2 years and change. Yeah, like a little bit of
2 years and change.
Yeah.
The B-Need one has come back.
Back home, baby.
Cali.
Back to Cali.
Yeah.
Celebrated with Disneyland yesterday. It was great. I am exhausted, but it was awesome. And also, some crazy news. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, we'll talk. And ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the man formerly known as the Babyface One, Theo Walski.
He's got some competition right now.
Oh, he's got competition now because ladies and gentlemen,
I didn't know we were doing competition now because maybe I need to go take a razor and make this even shorter now.
Get a hot towel going.
I might need to take a layer off of skin, or if I'm competing with this right now, that what I'm seeing on the screen.
I think you're still. I think you're still on the tippy top of the mountain, bud.
Yeah, dude. There's no way, man.
Just give it the rest of the show. I will be back on top because he will all have already grown something.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the new one, the new baby face, the maitre d' services, the man with the couch, our version of Toon Link.
Oh,
that's Alliance Mangy Simpolidio.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight? Oh my goodness. It is going to be a weird day because obviously, for those of you in chat, there is a new person on this couch and we don't know who. But
good Lord.
Unknowingly, it's actually me. Haha! Surprise!
Why? But I got to tell our listeners, like I was telling you guys before we started, and hopefully anybody will go back to the YouTube channel or Twitch VOD or whatever, and compare past ones. But dude, you're looking good without it.
Yeah, dude.
Too.
Yeah.
As well. Like you get either or you pull it off. That smile just shines a little more. I like it, dude.
You know, I got that chin.
I think now that you're more of an elder gentleman, you're looking more distinguished, more defined.
And I'll just put it out there. I'm sure it might end up in the comments or whatever, but I'll admit I got a partial for Jason right now.
Bro, like, dude, you guys don't know how long it took literally to shave on this.
No way.
It was bittersweet, but it's okay, you know, like it needed to be done.
You can always grow back. You never know.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you get the feeling again.
It'll grow back. It's not like there was a little bit of
you've done it once
salt.
before. You did it for your wedding.
Oh yeah. Like a little bit of salt was thrown in there, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't know I had a couple salt pieces going through, you know? Like,
okay, hold on. So what it is he saw the couple of gray hairs. He went to trim them out, made a mistake, and said, "No, I got to take the whole thing off."
No way, man. Like the gray hairs in like a beard is just. It's like the creme de la creme right there, man.
I thought more you were gonna say like he saw it on the surface, but then he lifted it up and it's just like all base gray.
Yeah,
like the roots. The roots were all gray.
I just wasn't taking care of it, so you know, like just knock it off.
Oh,
man.
I get you there. So
spring cleaning on my face,
right?
Yeah, and found the Wiener Schnitzel in there while he was doing it.
Couple chips.
Flaming hot Cheetos.
So, anyways, Gerard,
what's up?
How did the move go?
Move went well.
Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, and Saturday I was able to get everything in and return the truck on Sunday, and just been getting settled in, and then enjoyed Disneyland yesterday, which dude, crazy news, and I do have proof with this news, and Matt has confirmed. Dude, I met Christian Bale yesterday.
What?
Bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, sick.
It was insane, and I Theo, because of the Kevin Smith at Comic-Con, I learned my lesson. I went up to him and I had a few words with him, and he was very appreciative. He said, "Oh, that's very lovely. Thank you very much, and you have a nice day." And it was very cool. He was with his family and all that, so I just wanted to. I had to say something. He's a hero.
One, two.
Boom.
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool, dude. He was very nice. Yeah. But it was epic. That was the first time I was just like a little taken back, dude. Yeah, it was cool.
I also have to ask with relations to the move, scale 1 to 10 being sprinkler to waterfall. How were the waterworks from Mom on that?
Dude,
day?
It was rough. It was rough, and I'm not even gonna lie, dude. The phone, the check-in phone call today was rough too.
Oh,
yeah, but it's okay. We're getting through it. I mean, we're just staying in contact, and we're good.
Hey, so I could ask the all important question since you've been back. I know you went to Disneyland, but
no, he has not.
You
He has
gonna see
not
Jason
contacted
yet?
me yet. That's I know you're gonna.
I knew that was coming, even though I literally just explained my timeline.
You moved and then you went to Disneyland. It's like, hey, you won the Super Bowl. What are you doing next?
Yeah, I'm going to Disneyland.
No, it's okay. You know, he's only
I'll
been
phrase
back
it this way.
See, thank you, Jason. Yeah,
I'll give you a few days, but it's okay. There's no text that's saying, "Hey, bro, like I'm in Cali now." Like no, like
I'll phrase it this way. At least he didn't text you to help him move in.
That's true too. Thank you. I'll take that.
You're welcome. See, I got it.
Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
That's why it's just taking me time to connect. Like I'm doing all that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Yes,
He doesn't take his time this time.
You just you know how that annoys because I'm not trying to be like rude, but you suck, Jason.
I don't know what do you. I mean, like, you know, I got work tomorrow.
Like a text.
Okay. I got work tomorrow, but
so you're covered. You're covered.
It's all right, Jerry. Our entire community knows that you're the rudest of us all.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I'll take it. No,
big old teddy bear is the rudest of them all.
No, but I'm making my rounds. I'm getting there. I'm also kind of taking it in too, man. I went out to Long Beach to drop off to go see my sister before she moved to Texas, and I did just a little drive around like the neighborhoods and just past my high school. It was cool.
Now you lose some points there. You lose a few points there. Just a little rude. You're in Long Beach. The neighborhood. Literally in the neighborhood.
No. I did a little drive, and then I was with my sister and my nephews all day.
At Long Beach. That's
yeah. But I was with them. That was the last. They were moving. They're moving to Texas.
Ooh. Jason,
so that's
what's our meal of the night?
Oh yeah.
He got caught mid-fight.
It's In-N-Out or Del Taco? Neither. No, he's muted.
He's on mute. Ha.
Oh, it is Jack in the Box today. I thought
No, you're being courteous of not sharing your chew.
Yeah.
So appreciate it.
This is a podcast stream. This is not an ASMR stream, man. Like, I can't even do like the whole little like.
So, you can't even do it with your beard anymore.
Yeah. You guys can't tell. You guys can't tell off it anymore.
No, not anymore.
Right.
We see everything.
All right.
I think you should make it up to Jason by taking him to go see John Wick Chapter 4 next week.
Yes. I like that. That's a good idea.
It needs to be dinner and a movie, so I'm thinking like maybe Volcano Burger, Volcano, or
you know,
take him to Nick's.
Maybe we'll get some Nick's. Yeah, we'll do that.
Or
Nick's in a movie.
Take him to go to Big E's, pizza in a movie.
Oh, we'll do a pizza night.
Just remember, if you want Jason to put out, you got to put in the work.
Right, sir.
I'll wine and dine you, baby. Don't
flowers
you
and candy.
After how many times?
Oh my god!
Nicest beanie.
Okay, yeah, I'll wine and dine you, bro. I got you.
All right. Let's get into it tonight because we got a couple of big subjects to kind of talk about. First off, we'll start the beginning of the podcast off with a few minutes of spoiler talk.
Spoilers.
Being the episode aired on Sunday, so whoever has not seen it, kind of give it like 15 minutes, and then we'll be moving on. Otherwise, just skip past it while you're listening or watching on YouTube. But yes, so Last of Us season finale aired during the Oscars. It increased its viewership yet again. So it is now every episode for the last several weeks has increased. And, real quick, shout out to Brendan Fraser for winning Best Actor for The Whale.
Yeah, no kidding, for The Whale.
It's great seeing him come back and seeing that.
So great.
And
so
the actor that played Short Round and Data.
He Long, I believe it is.
Long. He won Best Supporting Actor. So
good for him.
It's great seeing some guys that took some time off from the business come back and give some of their best performances. So, Last of Us. Let's talk about it, because we haven't talked about that in a couple weeks. So the last episode was they're meeting up with what's his group, David's group. Yep. And then we've got the finale in Salt Lake City. So real quick, how do we feel about both the last episode and the season finale?
I gotta say the casting for David was I think an interesting choice, but I think paid off, because he really made David. He had that creepiness sense, but he really did make it his own, like very much his own, and that's why I like it. It really pulled me in, where I kept wanting to see, like, okay, where's he going with this? Where's he, like, yeah, he pulled me in a different way. How Nolan North pulled us in with David in the game. So I really enjoyed that episode. Matt, I'm going to agree with you again. It just felt like there was a few things where I was just like, again, but it was a good, tight episode. Same with the finale. I
rushed it.
It felt rushed, but once again, I expected to be, I expected them to be tight again. But in that retrospect, I thought it was, as a season, it was completely solid. Like, we had a full, solid, good season of a video game adaptation.
I'm going to give the show an 8 out of 10.
Okay. But why? Are you giving it an 8 out of 10 purely based in comparison to the game, or without knowledge of the game?
So for me, it is both. So for me is, like you talked about, Theo, the last couple episodes felt extremely rushed. And there is no real, like, in the beginning, as you go through everything, especially with, Bill and all of that, right? You get a lot of, in the first couple episodes, you're getting a decent amount of context to what is going on. And then it's ever since they left Kansas City and you saw the horde come through and take out the leader of the faction in Kansas City, every episode has just felt super rushed. Like, it needed to be another, I would say, 2 to 3 episodes longer to establish everything. Because Jason pointed out, right, in the tunnels, all you see is the goal painted on the wall, and you're expected to understand what that full context was that you got in the game. And just that last episode,
that was just an Easter egg. That wasn't meant to be.
But that is a key part of getting out of Pittsburgh and finding out what happened to all those people.
Yeah, like
it's that's
finally
right.
getting.
I'm
finally
sorry, I forgot.
That trust in people a little bit.
I forgot about that.
So the bloom of the trust.
My bad. Yeah, that's right.
And even then,
that's right, because they got separate. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Sorry.
I mean, I get the episode with David; it was fine. the actor I think that played David was perfect for it, because to your point, Jerry, he kind of had that his own role, and he kind of made it come off as like, I'm kind of creepy, but at the same time, you can trust me. Like I'm kind of a good guy. But
and then also that he added like I'm king and you don't mess with me either.
Yeah.
But
at first, hey, you know, I am a preacher, you know, but we have our own faiths. But yeah, constantly trying to just reassure that, yeah.
And then I don't know what it was about the season finale, but it just, you're going from David's group to all of a sudden, hey, we're in Salt Lake. Here's the, you know, we're going right to the hospital. Jason did get his giraffes.
Yes.
Yes. Which is super nice.
It was needed. It was. The
The
giraffe scene really is needed.
Well,
and
it established that like Ellie let go of her trauma a little bit and she reverted
and
back
I did
to
love
her
that. I did love that about the episode where she's just running around like a kid.
little childish. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it just felt super, the episode just felt super rushed, where they get to the hospital. They prep her.
I would have liked at least an additional episode.
Yeah.
At least to but
I didn't think
yeah.
You know, it just felt rushed and whatnot. And I mean, we all are back to that same question of, hey, was Joel, was Joel right to do what he did? But ultimately, though, it was still good. But I just think that from the grand scheme of things, and more so from taking it from a video game standpoint and playing the game and whatnot, it needed some more of that additional context. And that's why I would give it an 8. I mean, it's still a great show. Pedro Pascal and
Bella
Ramsey are fantastic for the roles. What I'm talking about is more the writing, the pacing, and the overall what it was kind of missing. And I get it, for a TV show, you have to do that. That's why they made Pittsburgh into Kansas City, because it kind of helped advance the story a little bit more than what we got in the game. But overall, there's still a lot of context that was missing in some of that I think would have been a little bit better, especially, to really get an understanding why Joel did what he did at the end,
to really have grown that relationship a little bit more.
Yep.
Because I
felt it was established.
I didn't think it was quite there. I mean, like I felt that they helped it a little bit with the baby girl in episode 8 at the end. But at the same time, like, they didn't quite get that build up of like, oh my God, I need to sacrifice whatever I can in order to get her back from David, and going on a killing spree throughout the town. Like that, I feel like that was definitely needed, and that's why it felt so rushed, rather than like, okay, where are all these other people of the town while the bar's being burned down, David's getting killed, and Ellie just runs out and Joel's just there waiting? Like, what how does that work?
I agree. I mean, that's why I also see the show from a filmmaker's perspective, that I would give the show a 9. That overall, if I wasn't a video game fan and I did see that show as a whole, I would immediately want to see a second season. I would be more interested in the lore of the show, so I think I would research the game. So that's why I would give it a 9.
Well, the game has topped the PlayStation charts, especially over in the UK.
Right.
Since the show's come out, which was to be expected. And
I wholeheartedly agree with you guys that like it needed more, but once again, that's what we got, because we don't know how much they were given.
Well, HBO does, their seasons are normally right around that 9,
these are
10-ish episodes.
But also
about like, why are show originals now always like 10 episodes when network shows are always close to 20?
It's less of a gamble. And then, on top of that, you're presenting a video game adaptation, which video game adaptation in history,
but I mean
hasn't been that great.
Adaptation out of
it's even more of a gamble.
Even way before it, everything has been regularly 10 episodes. Netflix does it too. On all their stuff. Hulu does it. Like, I don't.
And that could be that could still be them pinching more pennies. Like, no, you guys get 9 episodes. What?
At
least if
you can't just
anything,
do 10? Like,
take a page out of anime and make a regular either 12 or 13, not 10. 12 or 13. Then we would have been perfect for Last
that
of
would have been
Us.
fun. Oh yeah.
Now
Oh,
we
yeah.
are getting a Last of Us season 2.
I don't
That's
doubt it.
already been
I don't
announced.
doubt
Yeah.
They
Yeah, no
were
doubt.
talking to Neil Druckmann about it, about what part 2 would look like. Are they going to cut some of the controversies out? And he basically says, I don't care what everybody thinks. We're not leaving stuff out.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I'm happy to hear
Yeah.
that. Because
There's
of
another
what
interview they were saying that they
Mhm.
also agree that it season or part 2 is not able to be done in one season.
you can't.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I
You
thought
need to
I
do
saw
it
that
too.
too. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you guys saw
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, I
I-
saw that.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, me too.
Well, even the game is in 2 parts. You've got the Ellie part and you've got the Abby part. So I think they need to do
Pretty
the
much,
seasons
yeah.
similar. But it will be interesting to see where they go from it. I'm still excited. I just and I hope we get some of the good context this time, you know, for Last of Us Part 2, because there is a lot of it. And I hope some of it makes it into it, because some of the stuff,
Should.
Jason, you and I agree on that we're missing on context is some parts that are crucial. So
And the last 2 episodes, honestly, in my opinion, they were as great as they could be for 1 hour and without knowing anything from the game. You know,
Right.
both of
See,
us, both me and my wife,
Mhm.
been watching it, and we're just like on our tippy toes. We know exactly what's going to happen. We're not.
that's
in
why I
total
gave
suspense.
my rating. Yeah,
We're not in
because
total suspense
overall.
because we knew exactly what's going on. But at the same time, we're
Mhm.
just thinking, okay, like this is gonna play out. This is gonna play out right now. Like, oh man, like, you know, it's
Mhm.
8 was literally the after 7, which was the prequel. 8 was
8
perfect
after 7?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have you have literally the opposite side of Ellie. You know, like what she
Yeah,
experienced
true.
in the mall.
Yeah.
Literally, you see 180 when she's dealing with Daniel, because there's another community.
Mhm.
You're doomed to, you're dead to rights. You know exactly what the community has been doing
Mhm.
with the people that pass on, and you're just like, okay, like this is another one. So how do I get out? Like it's her on her survival terms.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yep.
perfect because it leads right into the last episode, the season finale, and it's just like now you have Joel, who was originally the survivor, bringing Ellie. Now it's both of them going in, and like that little chemistry
Mhm.
and dynamic where they're saying, okay, well, this baby girl now, this like I'm starting to care for her
Mhm.
like I did for other people,
Yep.
or like just like my daughter in Joel's case. And
Yeah.
now Ellie is being like, okay, now I actually have somebody that is sticking around, that's lasting this long, you know, being with me, knowing exactly that she's been infected, even though us as the people know that, like, oh yeah, like she's immune.
Mhm.
It just brings all of it together. The hospital, honestly, I think was just at the right amount, because you don't
Mhm.
need like you don't need the 10-minute montage of him just literally like screaming, just like
See,
destroying the entire hospital.
that's where I differ from that.
Mhm.
I agree with you guys, Matt and Theo, that like we needed to see the violence at David's camp.
The violence,
I
I feel like
was
should have been
fine with
different in the hospital.
I was fine with how quick the
Mhm.
hospital was, because I like the
Yep.
fighting in the hospital, like
it
going
needed to
from
be a
floor to
fight.
floor, that was filler for the story. Like
There
you can have a small
Mhm.
little fight or encounter and then get into the operating room and have that moment, which
Yeah.
they did. I was
can
fine
agree
with
with
that.
I can agree with the length of the fighting. I think the method of the fighting I did not fully agree with, because it was not quite a fight. It was more an assassination more than anything. It was more of him doing the quiet killing as best as he could.
You know what?
And then that final
You got a point.
hallway being completely empty. No.
Yeah, you got a point.
That hurt
I
me.
mean, that would have been fun for like a little bit of like, yeah, a little bit of a fight, but I also understand it. But
Can we
But
also
alrighty.
nod off? I'm sorry, Theo, but can we also
No.
do like a little tip of the hat to the cameos that we had in those last two
Oh yeah,
episodes?
dude.
Why
Laura
you guys
Bailey
steal my
was
thunder? I was
there.
gonna bring that up.
Troy Baker, and
Yes.
then oh yeah,
Ashley Johnson.
Ashley Johnson. in
Ashley
the-
Johnson,
Dude,
Troy Baker.
Ashley
That was
Johnson.
such a great
even,
role.
Even Laura
Dude, that
Bailey
was such
in
an
it, too.
appropriate role.
She
for
was a
Ashley
nurse.
Johnson.
Yeah, she
That
was
was
a
so
nurse.
cool.
Nurse that unplugged her,
Yep.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
it's
But
just a
but
tip of the
I
hat
will
to
have
those
to-
three.
Yeah.
I will have to say I agree with Matt on an 8 out of 10. But
I
a
think so, too.
a big gripe I have is that out of 9 episodes, I would say even during length, not necessarily based off of episodes, we probably only had like 20% of the entire show have anything to do with zombies.
That's true.
that. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I
The
do. hope that
clickers,
we
they
see
only-
more
By the
of
time
that.
we got out of
enhances.
Pittsburgh, we were basically done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
And
I
there
need a
needed
little
to
bit
be
more clickers. I need a little bit more of the actual.
Dude, we got the
Bloaters.
bloat. We
Big
got the
boys,
bloater
yeah.
and nothing after
no,
that.
no,
Yeah,
like
like
sports. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
like the last thing we got was with Ashley Johnson.
Because that's the whole
Getting
thing.
bit.
Like when
That's it.
she meets up with David in the game, they have to survive an absolute
So
onslaught.
that was one thing
of
I
infected.
was hoping to see too.
Yeah,
Like that was the
that's
one
true.
thing in that episode I was
And the fact that
disappointed when
and the fact that they
they had
changed
to
the
work
virus,
together. And,
they
yeah.
never really went more into that. The fact that they changed the virus to being plant-based or whatever, something
Yeah.
along those lines, but
With
they
the
never
sport. Oh,
expanded
yeah.
on that.
So with that, let's talk about move into the gaming realm. See
I
this?
can't believe this.
This,
I find it
The
strange
Olympics
right now,
are
with this
starting an
picture.
esports series.
but
So let's talk about that.
why does it
So-
show a stationary bike and archery?
We'll
and
get that. Just
Wow.
we'll get there.
Is this going to be a new
So-
Wii Sports for esports?
Oh my
No,
god.
this is an event. So when we're looking at the website, we're on Olympics.com looking at the esports stuff. Is Olympic Esports Series is a global virtual and simulated sports competition created by the IOC in collaboration with the international federations and game publishers. It is going to start started on the 1st of this month. We've just had guests and everything, so we haven't really been able to talk about this. When both professional and amateur players from around the world are going to take part in qualification rounds, accumulating with an inline or a live in-person finals at the first ever Olympic Esports Week, June 25th to 23rd, or 22nd rather, through the 25th in Singapore. So here are the games. So you got archery. The game that you will be playing is Tic Tac Bow.
Oh my god!
What the
It's an app game.
Wait, that's
It is
mobile?
a
It's a
brand new
mobile game.
mobile archery game that was released in February. World Archery and Tic Tac Bow have collaborated for the first time to give players around the world a chance to become the first ever Olympic esports winner.
I don't
I
know.
feel like
how
I just got
feel
slapped
about
in the
this.
face.
Yeah,
I
I don't
just
know
got
how I
slapped.
feel about this.
As the resident archer on this podcast, I hope you do, because
Yeah.
Jesus.
this feels even more of a slap in the face because there is baseball and
What?
they are not using
MLB The Show.
MLB The Show. They are using WBSC eBaseball Power Pros, which is, they called it a baseball simulation game on the PS5, 4, and Switch. This is the game. It is World Baseball Softball something or other. I don't remember what the C stands for.
coalition.
Coalition. Thank you.
Craziness.
Whatever, right? But they say it's a simulation, but it pretty much feels like we're
So
playing
is-
Super Baseball 2020 on it.
So I may be jumping the gun here, but is like all the virtual sports, it's just sports that are actually in the Olympics. Nothing like
no,
I feel like
because
I feel like we need
There's
true,
chess.
no, just wait. So
true
Chat,
esports
okay.
where there's like fighting games and stuff like that.
you'll get,
I mean,
we'll get there.
chess-
Don't worry. So
I'm
we've
pretty
got
sure
chess.
chess has been an Olympic game,
Chess
hasn't it?
has been an
It
Olympic
is.
game.
It is an Olympic
Yeah.
game already.
Okay.
So now they're doing the chess.com to do that.
I really
Um,
hope this isn't foreshadowing a new pandemic to come and they're preparing these virtual things just so they can have
So-
Olympics.
Now,
Cycling?
here is the game. It's called Zwift. It is the world's leading virtual cycling hub, according to this. So it.
Tell that to Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, right. Then our good friend Mo is probably excited to see this, but Just Dance.
Yo,
Are they doing Just Dance? Okay.
Just Dance is part of this.
At least so far, this is the first game I agree with to be represented in these virtual sports.
Okay. So, okay. And this is why
Motorsport.
I can't believe they didn't do MLB The Show, right? Because
they're doing Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Wow. Gran
Shut
Turismo. Not even
up.
Forza. Not even.
Wow.
Oh,
Really?
Because the new number Forza is not out yet and will not be out while this is taking place. So,
Okay.
as we can see,
I
though,
am noticing a trend with these so far that a lot of it is PlayStation based.
yeah, a little bit. But
I don't think we've had an Xbox.
here's the thing,
one
though. Gran Turismo, though, at least has world qualifiers.
Yeah.
And like they actually have a league, and a lot of those drivers have actually gone on to be real race car drivers.
Yeah.
Out of that. So there is that. And then there is sailing.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
Virtual sailing. Okay.
And they're using virtual
instead of the real
regatta.
sailing.
So you're going to be doing.
This is also another Olympic sport. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an
So-
like all of these are existing sports.
Taekwondo. So they're going to be using the game virtual taekwondo for this.
This
So
is ridiculous.
So stupid.
and then finally is tennis.
Tennis. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Please somebody
An
using
Olympic
Mario
sport.
Tennis.
What are they using?
They're
Please.
using a game called Tennis Clash.
That looks like
What?
Xbox.
Couldn't you at
Google
least
Play.
use-
Use App Store.
No.
Switch
That looks like
Sports?
PlayStation to me. That looks like
It's
PlayStation.
mobile.
No.
Google Play and App Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
At
Well,
least use Switch Sports.
It's
Guys,
ridiculous. It's
guys,
so
it's like I'm
ridiculous.
gonna have to
I mean,
try
like,
and be an
why-
Olympic.
why is this even- Why is this even the route that they're going? Like just
Well,
having literally
you first have
virtual
to-
versions of sports that exist rather
Right.
than actually being true esports where it probably actually takes a lot more talent to perform at rather than
Street
these
Fighter, Mortal Kombat,
simulations.
Tekken.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, Tekken,
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Now, the
CS
only
CS:GO. Like, come on now.
the only one I agree with in there is Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
That felt
That's
like a
the
real
only
game.
one
agree with
that's
it.
decent,
How could you
like-
not agree with at least Gran Turismo? Because that does require skill
Because
on
it-
that game.
But
it does require
also,
skill, but it
Yes.
does. But
you
it
can
does
also
not
really
re-
drive.
But
Yeah.
it does not require as much of a technical piece.
Oh, yes,
for
it does.
Oh, it does.
preparation.
It does.
Absolutely. 100%. Because I play it more arcadey and I turn off damage and all of that all the way like off. But there's tire wear, there's
But
fuel, there's
The fact that
damage
they're
to your
doing
car.
those kinds of things, those things can
All of
help
it.
you, but you can do the races in advance and you're just memorizing a race.
Yeah.
When you're doing anything that's like more extensive on PvP, you're changing it up. You're adding more skill that's needed in order to.
Oh, I think it's going to be PvP on
excel
that.
at it.
I think it's
It
going
is
to be
PvP, but you're still on the same track. That's going to be
Yeah.
the same track that's on Gran Turismo 7 as it is now.
Well, I mean,
So
Ex-
where's the challenge?
except you're putting in the human factor versus an AI.
yeah, but I
and-
think what they're going to do too is that
and
they're
you-
going to
it's one of those
change the
things-
tracks.
I mean, it's kind of the same
Probably.
equivalent of going online and going against other
Yeah.
players.
So
But,
I don't know.
It's
like
it is
Days
the
of
same
Thunder. He
as going
comes
against
near me,
other
I'm going to put him in the
players,
wall.
But where is the like challenge
Yeah.
amongst the other players to really say that I'm an Olympian in
I
order to really
would-
say that you stand out more than anybody else?
I would
in the
say on
world?
that, go watch the Gran Turismo leagues and those races because those are super competitive. And like I mentioned, is that you've had racers go out of there and go on to actually race professionally with these,
I
with
can't speak
Nissan
on all
and
that.
all of
I don't
that
know.
and-
I don't know that much about it. So
and whatnot. So
Yeah.
they're actually coming out. The Gran Turismo movie that's coming out is actually based on one of those people.
I would have really wanted to
Oh.
see things that they did more of a physical aspects to it as best as they could to really make it like
or
and esport
or
athletes.
for me, straight up esports that are considered esports: Overwatch, COD, Smash.
Yeah.
You know, like
At
that's
least
what I
from
was
an
expecting.
art,
Like
I
that's
mean,
what I thought. Like, okay, video games are going to the
because I
Olympics.
want
Like, cool.
These esports teams that like actually have true coaches and do
Right.
training
That's what I was
sessions
expecting.
and skirmishes and all this. Like, whereas all of it, all
Like
of these
the
games,
one game
you
and
can
the
just
one game
hop
I was
online and
I
just
was
practice
like okay
anytime you
with.
want.
Yeah.
There's no tested competition here.
Just Dance was the one game I was like, that'd be sweet if it was in, and like it is, and it's to me the only real video game on the lot for the Olympics.
But still, the level of dance that's involved in Just Dance versus actual dancers
that's true.
Very true.
Different.
Oh yeah, which is why it's it's ridiculous. The whole thing, it really is ridiculous.
This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of money, waste of everybody's.
You mean like
it's a waste of time that it's in person for finals too. Why? If it's all about virtual, then host it virtually. Then
it doesn't seem very well thought out.
While we're on the subject of ridiculousness, how about we talk about the latest from the Activision Xbox merger?
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like I need like eye bleach after this episode now. Jesus Christ.
So our good buddy Devin Pied Piper from cross-platform chat or cross-plat chat rather dropped in the chat. Can't wait for this year's Wii esport. You know, and whatnot. And I love that because he knows exactly where we're going. But I kind of messaged him before this to kind of let him know that I'm kind of not going to be very supportive of Sony with this. So we all know Sony is fighting the Activision deal tooth and nail right now to try and not get this thing to go through. Mm-hmm. And it's come out through some of the court filings, which they haven't come out with Sony's exclusivity deals that have kept games off of Xbox, right? But it has come out that a significant portion of the income that Sony Studios has at their disposal to make the games that, you know, God of War Ragnarok and Last of Us and all that actually come from all the added transactions and stuff of Call of Duty. So that gives you one more added reason to know that, hey, that's why they're fighting it. But now they've gone as far, so they've moved on from the anti-competition thing, but now they've gone on to say that they can see Microsoft purposely making the game defective on PlayStation. So as part of their filing, this is how it reads. Third, swiftly, this is from one of the third excerpts, right? It says, swiftly detecting any diversions from ensuring compliance with the commitment as to technical and graphical quality would be challenging. For example, Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only on the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degradations could be swiftly detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in just the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers would decide to switch to Xbox for fear of playing their favorite game at a second class or less competitive venue.
I mean, sabotage is not far-fetched here.
Not at all.
It's not
far-fetched.
No, is this what they're claiming, or is this what
This is what they actually presented in their brief to the UK's version of the FTC.
Okay, so basically that's legal. That's fine.
No, it's fine. But the fact is, this is where I can't really support PlayStation in this, because now you're basically taking everything, throwing at the wall and seeing what sticks.
For the most part, yeah. You're trying to degrade the view of Microsoft in order to get your way, rather than really trying to support something that is legitimate. Like it's not far-fetched that it is possible. Any company can do something devious in order
See,
to
that-
get the upper
that's-
hand.
That's what
but
makes it like
that shouldn't necessarily
yeah.
be your case in order to win.
Right. What is really the motivation? And clearly, it looks they're like really just trying to like throw
dollar bills,
more of a monkey wrench
yeah.
into their contract and their deal. But
here's where I don't think it holds weight at all, because for instance, you look at Minecraft. Microsoft's been putting that out on Switch and PlayStation, no problems, you know. And I think with the position that Xbox is in, and sorry, Devin, I'm going to say this, but you know, Xbox needs the sales. They need those games, right, to help bolster some things and really execute on their vision of the games being on more platforms, which is why you've seen them make deals with Nvidia and Switch. And now there's a streaming service they've partnered with that once this deal closes, it's going to be a 10-year deal to help bring the games like Call of Duty to more platforms so people can play them. So to basically be putting that out there, right, as this is our message, to turn around and basically say, well, but for PlayStation, we're going to make this defective in a very, very, very specific way, I think just makes it show that right now, as the PlayStation community, as you know, a good portion of it is unhappy with the direction Jim Ryan is taking PlayStation. And I think this is right up that alley. And that not only are they fighting this because they know they're thinking that, well, we're going to lose our revenue for our studios, which, okay, if you've been basing your revenue stream on one game, that doesn't show a diversified profile, you know, and portfolio.
It goes literally back to the age of original systems.
But the other thing is, I don't think that's their whole revenue system. I think that's their largest.
No,
they're very afraid of losing, which helps them.
It's a huge microtransaction. Profit.
It's a heavy microtransaction.
A huge profit margin that they're fearing that they're probably going to lose. Or like you speculated, Theo, which I think they're
still going with what they could do is what they're trying to fight with, which isn't a strong argument, because you could, not at all. Like, let's say hypothetically, like I had a knife and I was making a sandwich. I could cut myself, but I'm not going to. Like, are you going to take the knife away because I could cut myself? No,
right?
No. You just can't base. Okay, like I've told Jerry, like I've told you guys, and I've told
your
all the
argument
audience,
can't be the possibility of things. It needs to be facts.
Correct.
Yeah. They need to stick to what they're good at. Stop it. You know, just let them do it. You know what? Say peace out to Call of Duty. We don't care about it anymore. You know, yes, it's a big microtransaction game. Yes, they're going to lose some revenue, but it's going to mean that people have to buy another $400, $500 system in order to play Call of Duty. And they're just going to be playing Call of Duty. Go back to, like, we just spent 20 minutes talking about Last of Us, a game that came out almost a decade ago.
Yep.
You know, and it's still relevant now. Why? Because it's a goddamn great game. It goes so great that
put it this
everybody
way: we loved Last of Us the show. We hated Halo the show.
Yes,
I mean, like,
and I think to that point, right? That's what Sean Layden wanted. Sean Layden wanted the single player experiences and what PlayStation's bread and butter was. Jim Ryan wanted games as a service.
Give
to make as much revenue from that.
Damn good games again. Like, just we don't need this. I don't need another Assassin's Creed 15. I don't need more of these different things. Like, just give me solid storytelling gameplay. You know, boom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People want new Resistance.
Like, you can bring out another Resistance.
You know what? I'm down for.
I did like Resistance.
You can
actually. You know what, man? You actually got me.
I don't care. You know,
you got me getting kind of an itch for Killzone. I've been actually looking to get that back because I've been looking for it. Yeah,
Killzone Shadowfall for a launch title on the PS4 is an absolutely gorgeous game.
Oh yeah,
you know, there's so many shooters that you can just bring back up. And since everybody's making remakes nowadays, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to just slap them in the face and be like, yo, everybody's been on Call of Duty. I already know the next Call of Duty is going to be the same thing, just with different skins. That's all I care. Like, who cares? You know, like different skins, different guns that look like the same guns from the first game. Just it's the same.
But you can't get them unless you buy the battle pass.
Yeah, unless you buy the battle pass, or unless you buy the next. Like every week, we're gonna put out a different bullet ammo, a different bullet skin. I don't just stop. Like, just bring back the old school three. The old school three. Nintendo, you're a family. All the family games, multiplayer games, have fun. Sony, your story. Sony story. Just give me some good one-player games. Microsoft, you get literally shooters. Online and shooters. That's it. Just God.
I saw these.
PlayStation is doing this collab with a bunch of like sports personalities and big personalities across the world, right? And this is what they're doing for LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Outside of the handwriting, this looks like something one of my kids would have done to one of my controllers.
Just
or
give us more options on the plates.
PS5 right there. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna draw the same thing. I am terrible at drawing.
So speaking of that, PlayStation, so rumors are swirling that we're gonna see PS5 Pro end of 2024.
Now, refresh my memory. I thought the whole thing with the specs of PlayStation 5, when they were pretty much talking about they would not do a Pro, and that's why they were doing the specs that they were doing.
Correct.
Okay. I'm making sure
So
that my
now-
so now they're going back on
Here's
the whole...
where I think about it, right? So this is where I think it is, talking about the merger and everything like that, and dollars, right? Is PlayStation is, from all intents and purposes, when we read the reports, is they are going to be moving out of their two current SKUs for the PlayStation 5. Okay. Currently, right now, we have the digital and we have the disc. Okay. They're going to be moving out of those into a diskless chassis with the detachable disc drive. Okay.
Right.
So now you have one SKU that you're going to be using that for. Why not introduce a PS5 Pro that has a little bit higher specs to be your second SKU? Make more money off of it. You know,
and then also, is that going to be coming with a detachable?
Probably.
I don't know.
I would imagine so.
I don't get it.
I have a feeling that the specs won't be substantial, not even close to substantial. Maybe they upgrade HDMI from 2.0 to 2.1. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I don't think they. I don't really think they have the room to do it.
Any other news on the new console? Like, I really wasn't expecting any new PlayStation. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
Ever. I thought the whole plan was like, okay, this is going to be good until PlayStation 6. 5 years.
I think they need to focus on just making PS6 the best it's going to be versus having to do this Pro and everything like that.
They need to stick to the whole, for me, same with PC upgrade series is every 5 years is when things get old. You don't need this for me every 2.
Where this is more disheartening with PlayStation, the direction they're going, not only with the Activision thing for me, but is that when they do the new model of the PS5, that detachable disk drive, from all the reports, is not going to be compatible with the all disk models that are currently out right now.
Oh, they're taking a play out of the Apple book. I see.
So if basically the all digital,
so the disk drive from the new will not work with our first versions of the PS5.
Oh, I totally heard you say the detachable disc would not work with the disc editions. I thought I was very confused.
Well, we don't know about that one, but
first
at least
version,
the all digitals.
Well, I mean, it would make sense for a detachable disc to work with the disc version because you don't
think
need
of it this way. Think of it this way, Theo.
But also
if you have an Apple product, that's they're going to be, out within a year. So Sony's pretty much just taking an Apple idea right now.
Yep.
You know, you gotta upgrade it, or
just like
No,
just like
the
Apple will
difference
not
is-
change
hold
you're
on.
gonna have to upgrade, otherwise it's
USB-C.
just gonna like slowly
using Lightning.
deteriorate, and you're like, oh, dude, I gotta update. I gotta buy a new one.
Yep.
Yes, but the difference is that if I want to just get a disk drive, I can't do it.
Why
I will
would you
have
need a
to get rid
disk
of my
drive if you have a
PS5
disk drive
and go
already
buy
in
a
the
new
old
one.
ones?
Hey, some of us went all digital. I'm just
Oh.
using it as a for instance that, hey, say for instance, I'm one of those ones that prefer digital, and I've got 2 people that have harassed me and physically beat me into submission that I need to have a disk drive and go physical.
I mean, why would you need a disk drive if you're going digital? You stay digital.
But yeah,
Don't
but
play- don't
what I'm
play
saying
what?
is, so say
You and I can swap. I got disc and I don't use
No.
it.
nope, I'm good with my all digital. But what I'm saying is, though, for those people that are out there decide, hey, right. So say, for instance, Sony decides to start going back to the collector's editions that are the discs, and it comes with the statues and everything like that, and you can't get a digital, right? So say for me as a collector, I want to be able to get those editions and not have to spend an extra $70 to buy the game to play it. I want to go out and get a disc drive. So in that case I'm going to have to go buy out a whole brand new PS5 just to get a disc drive. Apple. No, because at least Apple makes an adapter for you.
Yeah.
That zones out after like a year, which
No.
is what? How long for the
No,
PS
it
Pro?
doesn't.
Dude, I've been
No,
using
it
my
doesn't.
USB-C HDMI adapter for a couple years now, and it's fine.
He's messing with us, but he's just yeah.
No,
He's just making fun
I-
of Apple.
They still need to change their phones to USB-C though. They need to get rid of Lightning.
Well, that's
saying.
the rumor for the 15.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
finally going to go.
It's been the
full-
rumor for the past 3 versions.
No, that's
Well-
been the actual there's a
Well, the
full-fledged
other
rumor
thought
in the
is-
concept renders that 15 will actually go USB-C.
There's still concept renders of a
There's-
foldable iPhone for the past few years
Yeah,
as
true.
well.
And
so-
glasses.
And there's also
Yeah.
rumor that they may ditch that port altogether and just go with wireless
MagSafe.
charging.
Oh yeah, with the magnetic too. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be fine
So-
with it too.
Yeah, it's.
But with
Man.
that, I just think for
that-
me,
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, just right now with everything going on, PlayStation is in a very precarious position. Yes, they are the second in terms of total console if you factor in the Switch being 6 years old. But I just with the way they're fighting the Activision sale, with moving to the new model, and now saying, hey, we're going to be coming out with a PS5 Pro already. I don't know. It's too much Jim Ryan and not enough.
It seems
what
like they're all
PlayStation
over
is
the place right
PlayStation.
now.
Well, we've been saying it
Yeah.
like probably, I want to say like close to the start of this show, over 200 episodes ago, that we feel that, or at least I remember that we feel that PlayStation has been losing their creativity.
Mhm.
But now they're getting their desperation up. So now that you have a lack of creativity and you're desperate,
Yeah.
you're gonna go and try
Bonkers.
like Matt was saying, throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
That essentially
Yep.
could be alienating your marketplace, your fans,
I think
all that.
they are in the right to push forward the digital, because then you can skip middlemen. You can just go straight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
one
Straight to
A to B,
consumer.
A to B, just straight
Yeah.
A to B.
Yeah.
It's
Totally
smart that
understand
it's very innovative. It's very smart that they're doing it. However, they forget about what the players are wanting. That's the problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I don't care if a collector's edition is going to be digital, because if you look on, for example, OfferUp or any other website that has like buy my used whatever, I've seen so many God of War keys for the God of War Ragnarok, because they don't care for the digital. They have the collectors. So you can find a lot of digital games for cheaper if you wait it out. Don't buy it like don't buy it day one, and then you're like, oh, I'll buy like 17 of them. I'm
Mhm.
just saying, like, if you get a collector's, it usually is physical. Swap with somebody that has digital. It's not a big thing, and that's why both me and Jerry, and I'm speaking for Jerry as well, we like the physical because you can give that to somebody else. You can like say,
Mhm.
hey, try this game out. But if they're forcing straight digital, then all your collectors have to be digital. You have to push it forward and stick
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Just
No, and
stay
I
on it.
get that part, Jason, and I get that argument. I think for me, it's just where you talk about what they're losing sight of what their fan base wants is, the fan base has always been predominantly about the single player story driven
Oh
games.
yeah. Oh,
Uncharted,
I
Last
think
of Us,
it goes
Spider-Man.
even
I
further
just-
than
and
that
going
just
further
their
back.
base wants options.
And
They don't
Yeah.
want repeats. They don't want
yes,
things that are unneeded. Because I
And-
mean, the PlayStation 5 is playing new games beautifully. I haven't heard of performance issues with PS5 with games. Why do we need an
Zero.
upgrade
Nope.
of performance?
correct. So I think for me, but I think they're losing sight because that was the one thing that was kind of like that power rift, right? With Jim Ryan and Sean Layden, is that Sean Layden wanted to keep going with what made PS4 so great was those story driven games. Yeah, you had the sprinkling in of the games of a service, like kind of like a Destiny when you had Destiny and stuff like that, where it was just kind of evolving,
or the PvP,
right?
the competitive. Yeah.
But now they've
Tournament.
made such a bigger swing towards wanting to do games as a service, relying more on add-ons, now going with their version of Game Pass. I think they're
Just
trying
still not
to
providing any
hit all
options.
these revenue streams, but I think they're missing out on core. Whereas at least with Nintendo, right? Nintendo understands what their fan base is.
Yeah, they give
Except
tons
for-
of options.
Except for I don't think they realized just how hardcore and big the Metroid fan base was when they solely underestimated
Yeah.
what Metroid,
Yeah.
Prime Remastered was going to do, and
hopefully
what it
that
is
opened,
still.
hopefully that opened their eyes
Yeah, absolutely.
about future projects for Metroid.
But Nintendo understands. Xbox understands that people just want to go to Game Pass right now, pay that subscription fee, and that's the model they're going with. They understand that now. And Phil Spencer's just trying to get the Game Pass and cloud streaming onto whatever he can, so that way he's securing that revenue stream and give everybody what they want. And not gonna lie, I would be totally happy if they decided to bring a version somehow that worked to the Switch for Forza, Halo, games that I do enjoy on Xbox, right? Just Jim Ryan, I think, has been out of touch with what the PlayStation community really wants for a long time now. And we're kind of seeing it. And I think maybe the reason we're seeing some of these moves now from him is maybe the board kind of has threatened his job. That if he doesn't get some of the stuff to go through or not go through, that he may not have a job.
But he's still not being creative. He's following other
Correct.
companies.
Yeah, he's not
role.
listening to the fans or the people.
Because I mean, like in what I find even still interesting about the whole game as a service or the passes and whatnot, like we went from striving for backwards compatibility and roughly getting it, kind of, and especially with Xbox Series One, but lack of in PlayStation 4 and barely anything with PlayStation 5. But then you put it into games as a service to kind of do
PS3
backwards compatibility, but you're doing it as an emulator, so you're not really doing backwards compatibility for one. But you're also limiting what you can do backwards compatibility with because you're rotating crap out like Netflix.
Yeah.
So this is
another
doing
point.
shortcuts and ignore and trying to deliver the bare minimum of what people are asking for.
And that's just another case in point to you, Matt, where you mentioned Nintendo. They may have been late to the game at times, or they may have stuck to their guns on certain things. But in terms of moving forward and listening to the fans, they absolutely do that when it comes to certain games that are coming out or a sequel to a game where, you know, certain things weren't meshing well in the first. They listen and they really do make those changes. So that's a credit to Nintendo, and where, yeah, I agree. I think Sony is just not listening.
Yeah, Nintendo's always been beating to their own drum.
Always have.
Only because
they've always been true to them.
Like I said, they are the family system. You know, how many multiplayer games do they come out with?
Leave Animal Crossing out of this, dude. Taking those shots at me. I see.
I'm not taking shots at you. I'm just saying, like, I'm just pointing out, like, you know, Mario Party.
Yeah.
Brings
Mario Kart
at least 4 people. Mario Kart, you know, you can bring more than like 4 people. The Switch has 2 controllers, so you can play games with one system with 2 people. You know, like I literally was just talking to one of my coworkers that I didn't even know played games. They're like, "Oh man, like have you played Overcooked?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I love that game." Like, having 4 people play.
I mean, but to that point, right, Jason? You know, Mario Kart, Mario Party. New Super Mario Brothers U, Mario 3D World, Luigi's Mansion. I mean, the list goes on in the number of multiplayer games.
Yeah, it's just like
console
almost
based, so,
like it's like they have more multiplayer games than they have single player games.
Yep,
it feels like.
So
it might be true, actually.
Right. So when this episode posts this weekend, for those that are catching us on YouTube, leave a message or in the comments, because we would love to see what your input is and what you think where PlayStation is sitting now with everything in retrospect. So if this was the first time you checked us out, thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for giving us the time tonight and crashing game night with us. If you like what you heard, please make sure to hit the follow button on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Also, head on over to crashinggamenight.com. Check out our past guests, past episodes, links to all our platforms. And guys, just with everything going on in the world, it's just, you know, it's getting crazier out there. So just please be excellent to each other.
That's right, everybody. Let's take a moment, take a breather, and let's practice a little bit of patience, a little love, you know, or if you see someone in need, maybe ask to lend a hand. Let's just try and do a little better out there, and try and be better, and just spread a little love, a little California love out there from Jerry. Yeah. Bye, nerds.
Well, obviously, like Matt said, you're gonna hear this on Sunday. Hopefully, you guys had a good St. Patrick's Day. You know, hopefully, you had a safe St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if Jerry's gonna call me out for St. Patrick's Day, but you know, I knew something. Just hey, I'm just letting him know that invitation would be nice. But you guys stay safe out there as always. Hopefully you make it through this rainy weather in California. Hopefully you guys stay safe out there wherever you guys are. If it's
stay warm,
snowing, or if it's you know, the storms are past. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And yeah, just be safe. Just enjoy the weekend. Until next week, my man, Theo Walski, my man. Send us out like you do.
All right, y'all. Thank you. And to reiterate, definitely go watch the older one so that way at least compare it to this one to see the difference in Jason's face.
Yeah,
just purely for that reason. I mean, just at least do that for me, because I mean it's so crazy and it's hard to not look at his face right now.
Who is this
guy?
I know, right?
Anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Till next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.
Later, nerds. From Cali. Nerds. What's up?